Welcome to Lothar's Guitar School, and today we talk about another piece of gear, the Hughes Kettner half-rack size Metal Master. Maybe you've seen my review on the Cream machine and it looks very similar. It has a gain control, a bass, middle and treble control, and here is a second gain stage. The Cream machine had here the master for the power amp. So this one has two gain stages, and instead it has a small solid-state power amp built in. The power amp only works when you use it as a low power amp with a speaker. When you use it with a guitar amp or with other devices, the outputs just use the two gain stages, the two tube stages. So a little closer. Like I said, gain 1, gain 2, bass, middle, treble, on-off switch, input on this side, and you have another input on the other side. These are the outputs for either the guitar amp, then you switch it to instrument, or to line when you use a PA recording device or home stereo. You have the tube amp out here. This is the distorted signal of gain 1 and gain 2. This is a clear bypass. And here you have the mix out, which is a combination of the two. So you can switch either with this switch here in the back between tube amp and bypass, or by the use of a foot switch. And the last one is the cabinetulator out, or that is another word for speaker emulation. It gives you the emulation of a 4x10-inch Celestion speaker cabinet, kind of. And on the other side you have the foot switch, and here's the speaker out. The speaker out uses the power amp, the solid-state power amp, and you can either use the cabinetulator, then you can hook it up to a regular stereo speaker or even to a headphone. But if you use a guitar box, then you turn the cabinetulator off and you have the signal coming out of the speaker here. So this is it, and you, like always with these, Hughes Kettner has a schematic on the top, and now let's hear what it sounds like. I hooked up a guitar speaker cabinet now, and with both gain controls at about 11 o'clock and the main control all the way up, it sounds kind of like this. So here it has a slight crunch to it, but not a lot of volume. This is all the way up. That's all there is with that small solid-state power amp built in. But if you want to add more distortion to it, this starts to shine. So let's put both gain controls to about 2 o'clock. The back is now a little less open. Or you can even add more to it by moving the gain control all the way up on one. Maybe with a single coil now. And all the way up, you really get a nice distortion. And then it has a lot of volume. And you can also hook up just a speaker to the back of the cabinet, but then you have to switch to the cabinetulator output, otherwise you might blow your headphones. And also you have to be careful with this level. You have always to control the volume very carefully, or otherwise you also blow your ears. Now I hooked it up to my little polytone amp, a solid state amp. And by bypassing the Metal Master, it sounds like this. If I turn it on now, with the same settings that I had before, about 11 o'clock, slight crunch. And obviously I get now a lot of more volume because I have a good solid state amp, powerful amp hooked up to it. Now the same thing as before with a little more distortion. Goes to about 2 o'clock. Or even more. Or even more if I turn it all the way up. Okay, that's that for playing it through a guitar amp. Now let's look how it sounds like playing it through a stereo. Now I've hooked it up to my home stereo, and you can make your stereo sound like a real nice tube guitar amp. So this is, with a little bit more gain this time, the clean sound. So you already get that crunch, but you can do it also with less. First stage of amplification with more gain. Or even more. Or all the way up to the max. Or more volume. So you can play at bedroom levels, even with headphones, hooked up to your stereo, or really upset your neighbors. So there's plenty of volume through your stereo and you get a nice distorted sound. So that was it for this little Metal Master, and hope to see you soon at Lothar's Guitar School. I'd like to hear your comments, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye bye.